Hi and welcome to the Fireside Christmas Sampler tutorial. You are watching video number 1 in the series, and today we are going to be working on creating a cozy fire for the center of our blanket. We're going to be creating an ombre with a variety of colors, so if you want to be really abstract about it, you can use what you want, but I'm going to let you know what I have here. First things first, you're going to need a number 7 4.5 millimeter hook. You're going to need some scissors for cutting your yarn, and you just might need a stitch marker, so have one of those handy. Okay, first color that I'm going to be using today, and I am using all number 4 worsted weight yarn. I am using I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby. This color is red. That's going to be my center. The next color that I am going to be using is fire red. The difference between these two is that one is a little bit of a bluier red and one is a little bit more of a yellowy red. So we're taking the intensity of the center of the fire and making it a blue-red, and then we're going to be working into more of a yellowy tone after that. So we're going to be using Desert Glaze as our orange tone. I have used their straight orange, but I feel like it's a little bit, I want to make it a little bit more subtle. And Sun Gold is going to be the tips of our flames. And then we're going to finish off today, and I'm using cinnamon. I've used brown. You can use any brown tone you want because we're going to be moving into a pine tree after this. So I'm letting you know that now so that you can take into consideration what brown you're ending with. I'm going to be using cinnamon just because it has that little bit of a goldy yellow tone to it. And so let's go ahead and get started with our blanket. So grab your center tone. And like I said, mine is going to be red. And we're going to be starting with a magic ring. We're going to chain 2. And we are going to put 20 half double crochets in the ring. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. When you have your 20 half double crochets on your hook, go ahead, or on your ring, go ahead and tighten it up just a little bit. You're not going to be able to pull it super tight. That's okay. And it's all right if we have this hole in the center because it's going to be completely covered up in a few minutes. So we're going to be working in the front loops only of these half double crochets going around, including the join space. So we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to slip stitch in the front loop only of our join. And then we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to slip stitch into that same stitch. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I'm sorry, I should have explained this already. We are going to be doing a chain 4 slip stitch 2 times in every single half double crochet going around. So there's going to be a total of 40 chain 4 loops, and it's all going to happen just in the front loop. So chain 4 slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch in that same stitch. You can already see it's getting a little chunky. So you're going to end up with a lot of rippling as we're going around. That's what you want. It's going to fill in and make this very fuzzy center of our, well, I guess flower, if you want to call it, the fuzzy center of our fire. So go ahead and continue this around. I'll be right back when I get all of mine in place. All right, I've got all 40 of my loops done, and I have completed my little flower here. So we're going to look at the back of our work real quick. You can just pull up a loop and flip her over. Alrighty, so we're going to be working in the back loops that we just created, that we left open right here. This is where we joined and started our center. So I am going to look at where my last one is. It is in this one here. So this is my 20th stitch. All right, and now that I have this one marked, I can count backwards to find my first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so I'm going to get my hook on here, and I'm just going to stick my, sorry, I was talking with a needle in my mouth, and I'm going to put my hook in the loop that I want to be working into. So we're just going to go straight from doing the front part of this, push all these little guys out of your way so it doesn't get stuck, and then we're going to start working immediately into the back loops, because we're going to keep everything facing us while we're working on this. So we're not turning this over and going the opposite direction. We're going right into the loops right behind. All right, so now that we're here, we're going to join with it, and I'm going to chain 3. This is going to count as a double crochet, and we're going to double crochet into that same loop. And now we're going to double crochet into the next loop. And now a repeat going around is going to be 2 double crochets in the next, 1 double crochet in the one after that. So 2, and you're going to have to keep pushing these loops out of your way to get to the loop that you need. And then 1, and now we're back to 2. And then 1. And then 2. And after we get done with this round, we will have 30 double crochets on our work. All right, I've finished that round and I'm ready to switch over to my fire red. And we're going to join that in here just by pulling through both of the loops on our hook. Now, we're going to chain 3 here. We have moved on to round 4, and this is going to count as a back post double crochet. We're also going to back post double crochet around the same stitch as our join, which is that chain 3. And I'll do that again because I might have just done that a little fast. A back post double crochet is yarn over like you're going to do a double, go from the back to the front, and then from the front to the back around the post, and then pull through and complete. So I continued on in the pattern as I was doing that. I have started the repeat. So we're going to do this one, and we're going to do 2 more back post double crochets. All right, next in the instruction says that we are going to do 2 back posts around the same post. So 1 and 2. And now here we are going to put a front post, chain 1, front post double crochet around the next. And get a little bit tricky here because you've kind of pulled this stitch to the back. You're going to want to make sure that you don't bounce over this one right here. It kind of gets lost and can be easily skipped over. Make sure you're not skipping any stitches. So front post, chain 1, and a front post. So a front post is exactly the same as a back post, only going to the front, not the back. And then we're going to finish up that repeat by putting 2 back post double crochets around the next. All right, let's go to the beginning of the repeat again, which starts with back post around 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to put 2 around the next. All around the same post. Now we're going to do that front post, chain 1, front post. And remember not to skip over anybody. Front post, chain 1, front post, and then finish up that repeat with 2 back posts around the next. All right, let's start that repeat again. We'll do it one more time. Back post around 3. Two back posts. A front post, chain 1 front post. And then finish it up with 2 back posts. Okay, we're going to pause just a moment. We have the start of the first of our the first 5 of our 10 flames that we're going to have in total in this fire. So you're going to begin to see embossed parts rising up. That's those front post, chain 1 front posts. And the 2 back posts that we put on either side of that help to push that forward. And that's why we're strategically placing those. You're going to run into where we're going to do 2 back posts next to a flame sometimes, and then moving further into more rows as we add more flames, it might not. So just go ahead and trust the instructions, and I'll work you through each round and we'll do the repeats, but I want you to do this 2 more times. You're going to finish with a front post, chain 1 front post around this last double crochet here, but finish this up and I'll be right back. Okay, round 4 has been completed, and we are going to finish that off by slip stitching to the top of the chain 3 that we started with on this round. And then we're going to move on to round 5, staying with the same color, chain 3. Now we're going to back post around the next 2. So throughout this pattern, this chain 3 is always going to count as the back post double crochet, or the first back post double crochet. So when I say back post around the next 2, that means not the join, but the next 2 over. So 1 and 2. And then we are going to do our first front post, chain 1 front post. This is going to create another flame that we will be working on as we go around. We're going to be creating them kind of offset, one set of 5 and another set of 5. All right, and then we're going to back post around the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, here we're going to put a front post around the next front post. And then in that chain 1 space, we're going to put a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So double, chain 1, double in that chain 1 space. Now front post around the next front post. And front post or back post around the next 3. All right, now we're going to do another front post, chain 1 front post. And back post around the next 3. And then this is going to just continue to repeat. So front post around the front post, V-stitch in the chain 1 space. Remember, V-stitch is a double, chain 1 double, front post, and then back post around 3. So the beginning of our repeat is always going to be that front post, chain one, front post that's in the center that comes in between the already established flames. So this is the beginning of your repeat here. So we'll start our repeat again here. And we end with the 3 back post double crochets after this established flame. Alrighty, go ahead and finish that up. I will be back here after I'm finished with round 5. Round 5 is complete, and we're going to go on to round 6. I hope you slip stitch to your chain 3. So we're going to go ahead and chain another 3. That is a back post double crochet. We're going to back post double crochet around the join post, which is the chain 3 from the row below. And then we're going to back post around 2. So 1 and 2. Now this is where our repeat starts. Front post, and then in that chain 1 space, V-stitch, and then front post around the next. Back post around 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 2 around the next. 1 and 2. All right, now we're up to the next flame. So we are going to do front posts around the front posts. We're going to V-stitch in this chain 1 center space, and then front post around our front post. So 2 front posts, 1, 2, and then V-stitch, and then 1 and 2. Right after this one, we're going to put 2 back posts, and then we're going to back post around 2, and that is where our repeat ends. So our whole repeat, it feels kind of long, but it's going to start over here where we front post, V-stitch, front post, back post around 2, 2 back posts around the next, front post around 2, V-stitch, front post around 2, 2 back posts, and then back post around 2. So then it starts all over again at this flame, and it'll end just before the next little flame. Alrighty, so that's your whole repeat. You're going to go ahead and do that 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which will land you right over here. You will finish with front posts around your front post, because remember, this is your back post double crochet here, and we already did our 2. Alrighty, go ahead and finish up this round. We will be changing colors to our orangey tone after this round, so go ahead and have that close by. Alrighty, round 6 complete, and slip stitching to the chain 3 that we started with. If I can get my hook through. There we go. Okay, now you can go ahead and cut this. Don't need to leave a long end, and get that out of your way. We're going to switch over to our orange tone now, as we're moving up the ombre of our fire. And don't want to have the wrong strings in your way, otherwise you're going to have a mess. So you may be thinking, oh wow, that really looks like a flower. You wouldn't be wrong. If you have made my Christmas Around the World blanket, this is actually the same center, and in that blanket it is a poinsettia. So I altered it and we changed it into a fire for this blanket. However, beyond this, it's all very, very different. So I don't know why I pulled that through, because I really needed to leave that in there, because I want to switch my colors. There we go. Let's do that again. I'm going to pull that orange through, and we are going to be starting on round 7. Go ahead and chain 3, Instructions say back post around 2. So that's the next 2. And then go ahead and put 2 around the next. We're going to start working into around our front post, and this is where our repeat begins. So front post around 2, V-stitch in the middle. Sorry, I'm kind of balling this up in my hand, but it gets difficult to work on the bigger this gets and try to keep it flat. So you'll just be able to see the stitches I'm working on now. And front post around the next 2. We're going to put 2 back posts around the next. Remember, these are those pusher stitches that bring everything forward. And then we're going to back post around 3. 1, 2, 3. If you'll kind of notice, one time the flame gets the 2 pushing it forward, the next one over will usually not get the 2 pushing it forward. They just kind of trade off as we go around, so as not to have too many stitches when we finish. Alrighty, now we're going to front post around 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to V-stitch in that center. 1, 2, and 3, V-stitch in the center. Now we are at the widest point of our first flames. After this, we're going to start reducing their size. Okay, and then front post around the next 3. So you can see where this is our second one and this is our first one. This is the widest these are going to get. After this, we're going to start pulling it into a point. All right, now we're going to back post around 3. And then 2 around the next. And that is the end of our repeat. So let's review that. Our repeat started way over here. So you're going to have front posts around 2. You're going to V-stitch and front posts around 2. This is going to have 2 back posts next. You'll have 3 back posts. Then you're going to front post around 3, V-stitch, front post around 3, back post around 3, and then back post around 2. Because remember, this one we're pushing the little one forward, this one we're not. All right, round 7 is done, and we are going to be moving on to round 8, staying with the same color, not changing. Just wanted to show you what the back of this should be looking like at this point. You should have definite areas that are prominent on the back as well as the front. So these, of course, are our back post stitches as we've been going around, and these are our front post stitches. So it's going to be, you know, thick and kind of ripply, but it'll all sit nice and flat when we're done. Okay, let's go on to round 8, and then we're going to chain 3. We're going to back post around the join post, which is our chain 3 from the row below. Okay, now we're going to back post around 4. All right, here's where our repeat's going to start again. We're going to front post around 3 and then do a V-stitch in that chain 1 space in the center. We're going to back post around 4, leading up to the big flame. The big flame is going to get a boost on this round. So we're going to put our 2 back posts on either side of the big flame, because we are going to start our actual decreasing of the big flame in this round. Alrighty, so let's get that started. Front post around 3. And then V-stitch in that chain 1. And then front post around 3. And back post around 4. Three and 4. And then the next one is going to be 2 around the next. All right, now here's where it's going to get fun. If you've never done a front post decrease before, you're going to get lots of practice. So we're going to front post 2 together 4 times. So front post 2 together is basically just a front post double crochet decrease. So we're going to go around the post. Make sure that you're not going up in here at the top, but get underneath. Do you see where those connecting strings are right there? You're going to want to get under there. If you get up in here, it's going to leave this kind of stringy looking. So get into the chunky part of the post and just go through the first 2 and do that on the next one. And just go through the first 2. Now you have 3 on your hook and go through all 3. Now let's do that 3 more times. Remember to get around the chunky part of the post. And then we're skipping that chain 1 altogether. Moving right over to the other stitches and front post decreasing. And then our last one, because we're going to do it a total of 4 times. All right, and this is what it should look like. It's going to look a little tight. It's okay. It's all going to work out, I promise. All righty, so next one, we're going to do 2 back posts. And then back post around 4. And that's our entire repeat. Go ahead and continue working that all the way around. Of course, finishing up over here, you're going to do that front post decrease 4 times. Remember, we started with our 2 back post double crochets over here, so you're not going to have to worry about that at the end. You'll finish off with your 4 front post double crochet decreases. All right, I will see you at the end of round 8. Alrighty, round 8 is complete. Be proud of yourself. You're already at 120 stitches, and all we are is at the center of the blanket. So alrighty, we're going to keep moving on. This is round 9. This is the last round that we're going to be using this color. Go ahead and get your yellow set to go for the next round. Not this one, obviously, but round 10, we're going to be switching over to the gold. And of course, finishing off with a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 3 to start round 9. Back post around the join, which is the chain 3. And then we're going to back post around 4. And this is going to be the one row where we're going to kind of go off of that, where just the one that we're pushing forward gets the 2 behind it. Because of the decreases, we have to add stitches in order to keep our circle going the right way. So we are going to be doing double back posts more often in this round. And go ahead and put 2 around the next. And now we're actually working on the smaller of the 2, but it's the next in line to start with its decreases. So we're going to do the 4 front post double crochet decreases across this one. Remember to get around the chunky part. And this is where our repeat is starting, is on this smaller flame. Three, and we are on the 4th. So back post twice around the next. And then we're going to back post around 4. All right, we're going to do another 2 back posts around the next one. Okay, now we're to the one where we did the front post double crochet decreases before. This time we are going to do it only twice. So here's where you want to be a little careful. Don't go around just this part again. Get into the chunky part of your stitch and go around that. It's exactly like it was before, only we're just doing it around the previous front post decreases. So once and then twice. All right, so your first flame should really be coming to a point now. 2 back posts around the next. And back post around 4. And then we'll finish off our repeat with 2 back posts. Okay. So your repeat is going to be the small flame all the way over to the small flame. So this is where we started right here. This is the smaller, well, the smaller of the 2. It's not the bigger of the 2, but going from here, this is where our repeat starts. Do your 4 front post double crochet decreases across there, your 2, your 4, your 2, then do your 2 decreases, your 2, your 4, and your 2. And then you'll start over again at the next petal, which is, or the next flame, which is going to be 4 decreases, excuse me, and then you'll do all the stitches in between, and then these are 2 decreases. Just pay attention to the repeat, and I will see you when we get back over here. Alrighty, your fire should be looking nice and chunky by now. We are going to be switching our color to our gold. All right, let's go ahead and get that yellow attached. And we are on round 10 now. Go ahead and chain 3. We are going to back post around 6. So obviously not the chain 3, but the next one and then the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, instructions say 2 back post around the next. And then we're going to start our decrease, or not our decrease, our repeat around, but it is going to start with decreases. So we're going to do the front post double crochet 2 together twice. So 1, 2, and then pull through. One, 2, and pull through. I don't like how loose that is, so I'm going to do that over. It's the beauty of crochet, it's easy to rip out. Okay, now we're going to 2 back post around the next. And then instructions say back post around 7. One, 2, 5, 6, and 7. That brings us right up to the next flame. And here we're just going to do the front post double crochet 2 together 1 time. So here around the chunky part, and here around the chunky part, and finish off. That is the tip of that particular flame. This one's going to have a little bit more yellow on it, but this one's just going to have that little bit at the top. All right, front post, or I'm sorry, back post around 7. And this is the end of our repeat. 2 back posts around the next. Okay, and so that's where our repeat starts, is at the decrease of what we would consider the big flame now, because now this has become the small flame, and it finishes right before the big flame. So all of this, you're going to be doing the 2 back post double crochets before and after this one that gets the 2 decreases. You're going to take the back post right up to without increasing on the smaller of the 2. Alrighty, continue that around. I'll meet you back over here. We'll slip stitch to the chain 3 and continue with round 11. Alrighty, round 10 is complete, and we are going to work on round 11, which is the last round of the gold. The gold only has 2 rounds, and then we're going to switch over to our brown, so have that close by. And go ahead and chain 3. Now, we are going to do the reverse of our front post double crochet 2 together. We're going to do back post double crochet 2 together over the next 2. So we're going to treat it just the same as our regular decrease, where we're just pulling up and going through the 2, and then we're going around the next post. And so on our 3, we pull through all 3, and then we're going to back post around 6. 5 and 6. Okay, now we are up to our repeat. This is where we're starting. We're going to front post double crochet 2 together one time to close off the top of the last flames. Sorry about that. And then we're going to back post over 6. 1, okay, now we are going to back post double crochet 2 together over the next 2. So 1 and 2. There's that decrease. All right, we're going to back post around 1, back post around the petal or the flame, and then back post around 1. All right, and now we're going to back post double crochet 2 together again. And then back post around 6. Four, 5, and 6. And that is the end of our repeat. Let's talk about this real quick. We started our repeat here. Our repeat is going to start with front post double crochet 2 together around the flame. And then we're going to back post around 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to back post double crochet 2 together, back post around 1, go around the petal or the flame, back post around 1, and then back post double crochet 2 together, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is our repeat. So you're going to have a little bit of funkiness right here, which is working over this flame that's already been completed. We're going to be decreasing, then going 3 and decreasing. Alrighty, so that's the only real funky thing that we have to be paying attention to on this particular round, is that when you get over to the spaces that are on opposite sides of this flame, you're going to be decreasing there. Just make sure that you count as you go and you should be fine. All right, we're done with round 11, and this is the last yellow round, so I went ahead and I cut it off. I'm going to attach my brown now, and we're going to start creating sides to our circle so that we're going to begin working in a square as opposed to a circle shape. And we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is going to count as a double treble. Now a double treble is, sorry, I'm just trying to get myself comfortable here. 1, 2, 3. And now into the next stitch, we are going to put 4 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. These are all going to go in the same stitch. All right, and now the next stitch is going to also get a double treble, but one by itself. All right, our next stitch over is going to get a regular treble, which is just yarning over twice, and then 1, 2, 3. And let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do double crochets in the next 2. So double and double, and then we're going to do half double crochets into 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to single crochet into 5. As you can see, we're using the height of our stitches to take care of the corners of our circle. I mean, of course, circles don't have corners, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're creating corners, and that means we need to fill in a lot of space. So we're doing that with the height of our stitches. All right, now we're going to go back down the other side to create another corner. So we're going to half double into 3. Then we're going to double into 2. And then we're going to go back into our trebles. So we're going to yarn over twice and do a treble and do that again. Now we're going back into our double trebles. Right, so we're going to do 1 double treble before 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to do 5 in the next space. 2, 3. Got 2 more to go. Gets a little crowded after a minute, but we want all 5 of those double trebles to be in that, because this center one here is actually going to be our corner, but we'll deal with that when we get to the next round. All right, so this is where our repeat's going to start. We did one side, and now we're going to create the next side. So our repeat is double treble in the next. Now treble into the next 2. And double into the next 2. Now half double into 3. And single into 5. Half double into 3. Double into 2. Treble into 2. All right, we're going to double treble into 1. And then we're going to finish off this repeat with 5 double trebles into the next. All right. All right, as you can see, we've got 2 full sides in place now. We're going to finish filling this in. Go ahead and do that, repeat 2 more times. You're going to finish off by slip stitching to the 5th chain here of this chain 5 that we started with. I will meet you back here at the end. All right, when we are on the very last portion of the pattern, there will be 2 stitches left before we get to this. We're going to do a double treble decrease, 2, 3. So it's going to be treated like a double treble. But we're only going to go 1, 2, 3, leaving 2 on there, and then do that again, and 1, 2, 3, and through all 3 loops on the hook, and then slip stitch to your chain 5. All right. Now, don't cut this color. Make sure that you've got 104 stitches going around. We are going to, the next video, the next section is going to start right away with this brown. So don't cut it off, leave it at where it is, and then jump into the pine tree section. From this point forward though, we are going to be counting our stitches from one side. So when the count is at the end of the row, it's going to be for per side. All right, so keep that in mind, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.